Welcome back to Shield Brothers Outdoors. I'm Kevin. Little solo video today, and bought some more backpacking gear. So I thought we'd do a cool little first look. This is the Drop Dan Durston collab X-Mid 2P backpacking tent. And you might be asking yourselves, Kevin, why did you buy a 2.5 pound backpacking tent? Well, we're gonna talk about that. As you can see behind me, I've got the Drop. It's the Drop by Dan Durston X-Mid 2P tent. Basically how this works is Drop, which was formerly Mass Drop, they will do select runs of these tents. So they did a run in the spring and they just did a run in August, so I picked one up. Now let's talk about why I got this tent, because off the top, you're probably like, what is this guy doing with a 2.5 pound non-Dyneema tent? If you've watched a lot of my videos, you know, Andy and I are pretty weight conscious people. We would never in a million years dream about buying a tent that weighs, you know, between 2 and 3 pounds, but there are many reasons why I got this tent. So let's go through them. First, my current tent is the Z-Packs Ultiplex. It's a great tent. I've got a video on that, check it out. It's a 1-person tent, and it's a pretty spacious 1-person tent. But I needed a 2-person tent. I do backpack with my wife. I needed a 2-person tent in the arsenal. So that is reason number 1 why I got this tent. Second reason why I got this tent. I didn't want to spend a lot of money. You know, if money wasn't an option, I would probably consider just buying a duplex. I had a Z-Packs duplex. I sent it back to Z-Packs because I wanted to try the Ultiplex. So that's why I only have the Ultiplex. Now, the good thing about a 2.5 pound tent is this tent was $280. You know, that's cheaper than most REI brand tents. That's cheaper than MSR tents. That's very cheap and very price conscious. And that's another reason why I got this tent. Third reason why I got this tent. I wanted a double walled tent. The Ultiplex is single walled, nothing wrong with a single wall tent, but you will get condensation, especially on those mornings where the temperature drops overnight and it's humid. And like, if you check out our Dolly Sods videos or our Cranberry Wilderness videos, you know, we were camping by rivers the entire time, and at night the temperature cools down into the 50s and it's humid, and you will get condensation all over the inside of that tent. So reason number 3, I wanted a double walled tent. Fourth reason why I got this tent. I wanted a non-Dyneema tent. This tent, you know, the use case for using this tent is this is gonna be used on trips where it's a 1 or maybe a 2-night trip where weight and bulk is not an issue, or trips where I'm going with my wife. I wanted a non-Dyneema tent. You know, I have been actually pretty surprised with how durable Dyneema tents are. You know, I expected very, very poor durability, but I've actually been very impressed with the durability of Dyneema tents, but nylon's more durable. Fifth reason why I got this tent, it's a very cool design, and we're gonna get into, I'll show you how this thing works. It's different than most non-freestanding tents. Now this is not freestanding, you know, I've got trekking poles in here. So that's another reason why, maybe a slight negative, but the design of this tent is really cool. So if you're not familiar with Dan Durston, he's a thru hiker. I believe he works with Andrew Skirker right now doing guiding, but he's designed a bunch of tents. So he designed a 1-person tent with Drop, and that was really popular. So he went on to design a 2-person tent, and that's what we got here. So that's why I got this tent. I needed a 2-person tent. I wanted something cheap. I wanted something double walled. I didn't want something Dyneema, and I really liked the design of this. So all those factors add up to why I'm sitting in front of this tent right now. I'll throw the specs up on the screen right now. You know, it's heavy, right? And it's heavy considering there's no trekking, or there's no tent poles you gotta bring. But other than weight, obviously, that's basically the only downside to this. You know, I just set it up for the first time. It is a little bit more complex to set up than a Z-Packs tent. Mainly that's because it's a double walled, so you gotta connect the 2 walls together. But other than that, it sets up pretty easy. So I'm gonna walk you through the tent. We'll go inside, I'll show you some of the features. And that's the Durston X2, Mid X2, I don't know, it's got a cool name.
All right, so let's just kind of walk around the tent. So it does have a double vestibule design. So you'll see one vestibule there, and we'll get to the other side. pretty standard stakeouts. Now it does have, as you'll see, this has kind of like a trapezoidal shape on the inside, which is kind of something he touts as like a design improvement over mostly square design tents. Here is a shot of the, you know, how the vestibule works. So there's two of these like the duplex, and you know, I've got it unzipped on their side. They zip up, and then there's little, you know, little eyelets here, so you can roll the thing up. And it, you know, it's kind of like an offset duplex. Now, here's something that's very cool. There are vents that pop out and stay popped out on the side. So I'll show you that. So you can see there's a little, like, you know, part of the weight here, there's like a little stake thing there that pops the vents out. And they're on both sides. So this tent really was built for airflow. And I've got a very mediocre pitch. You know, this is the first time I've set this thing up. So even, you know, honestly, it's not terrible. Could be better. But it's pretty easy to set up now. You got to connect the rainfly to the base system, and they say you can use the base system separately. You know, and by that I mean you could take the rainfly off and just use the netting in there. You could probably do that. It probably requires a little jimmy rigging, but definitely possible. And then, you know, I've got the little vestibule rolled up here, and then, you know, I bought this tent because of airflow, and you can see, you know, I've got the there it is. Yep, I've got the vents open right there. So pretty standard kind of design, but yeah, he does, you can kind of see it over here, kind of a trapezoidal shape to it, which is kind of cool. And he kind of says that's the best shape for a size to weight ratio. And then I've got, you know, 4 stakes on the corners, then staked out the 2 vestibules. So it does come with stakes. That's pretty cool. For 280 bucks, it does come with titanium stakes, so not bad. So I'm inside the tent. The first and obvious thing is it's pretty roomy. You know, it's a 2-person tent. So you can see I am fully, and I'm not small, you know, I'm fully leaned out. I'm 6'2", and you know, it's 2-person tent, so you got plenty of room for activities in here. Now, I will say, it's probably about the same size as the duplex on the inside. It might be a little bit bigger, but it's about the same size. But there are some cool features on the inside that I want to show you guys. That up there is a little pouch, so you can slip things in there. You can put a headlamp in there or a little light. So that was one thing I missed. You know, the duplex doesn't have it. Like when you're in your tent at night, the ability to suspend something from the ceiling to get a little light source. So it's got one of those. You can see, like, I can put my hand in there. So it's got one of those on each side. So there's another one right there. So it's a very cool, you know, just a simple thing that really will make a lot of a difference. You've also got, you know, little side pouches right here. You've got them on both sides. You've got one right there. So there really is like a lot of room in here to like suspend stuff, which is cool. You know, I love the idea that you can put a headlamp up in there and have it shine down on you. So a lot of cool little pouches. There's a good shot of you know, how much room I've got in here. So, you know, you can see right there, like, you know, my feet are splayed out, and I've got plenty of room. You know, solid too. Oh man, I can smell the nylon. It has such a tent smell. I have not been in a non-Dyneema tent in a long time. It's also very sturdy, you know. It was pretty easy to set up, honestly. Not as easy as a duplex, because I had to put, you know, this tent comes with both things disassembled and you got to put them together. So there was a little bit of that, but honestly, pretty easy to set up. I love the color, love the green. Initial thoughts inside, I mean, it's roomy. I mean, you can see, like, I'm 6'2", I'm sitting up, and I'm not hitting this whatsoever. So that's very, very cool. I'm trying to figure out, honestly, what these are for. These might be for when you suspend the tent without the rainfly. That's the only thing I can think of. Now, one thing that Z-Packs tents do have that this tent does not is the Z-Packs tent has like little pockets running along the base of the tent, which is kind of cool. But if I had to pick between if I could have the pockets on the base or up top or on the side, I'd probably pick the design of this tent. So that's the only thing I noticed, is there's no storage,
you know, on the bottom of the tent, but that's really not a big deal. But overall, I mean, it's roomy. I mean, I got plenty of room. It's a little, and you can see there's the hexagonal shape of it. So the duplex would run, the poles would run perpendicular to the tent. Here they kind of run parallel to the corners, so it's like an offset trapezoidal design, and it does feel like you get more room. That's the end of the tour, the inside tour. Look at that. Woo, yeah, a lot of room, a lot of room. So let's get back out. It's getting hot in here because I'm in the sunlight, and this nylon, 2 layers. All right, let's get out. Finally, something I meant to show you guys is it comes with guy lines on the top. So just like another extra way to secure this thing in the wind. I obviously don't have them out here, but there's a guy line here and obviously a guy line on the other one. So if it's super windy, you can secure this thing. And then there's also, you'd have to bring more stakes, but there's also more little like eyelets running along the side of the tent. So if you need to secure this thing in like storm mode, he gives you a lot of options for that. One thing I completely forgot to show you guys is on the outside of the tent, there are like these little nylon kind of like circles, see right there, that go around the base of the trekking pole, so bring the tent out more. So I forgot to do that. And when you do that, it really does, it gets much bigger on the inside. I still have a little crease there on the floor, but other than that, I mean, putting the trekking pole in the little loops here does make a big difference. All right, so one thing I know that a lot of people don't necessarily care about, but I do, look how small this thing is. I mean, it's like a little bit bigger than a Nalgene for a 2-person tent. I mean, I know a lot of people don't care about bulk, but I mean, nylon, it is more compressible than Dyneema. I mean, this is smaller than the Altiplex, which is a 1-person tent. So that's it. It's just a quick first look of this tent. You know, I thought it was something pretty cool. I'm definitely excited to try it. I've got 2 or 3 trips on the docket through this year where I'm going to be taking this tent. So I'm going to definitely use it in a variety of situations. Check out Dan Durston's stuff. He's got really cool stuff. If you're interested in this tent, I think they're going to make another run on drop, but I don't know. This run ended in August. Maybe they'll do another one. If you want the 1-person variant of this tent, check that out. But that's it for us. First look done. See everybody later.